Welcome to Real Design with Van Horn, the podcast where we delve into the art of transforming houses into homes and explore the fusion of real estate and interior design. I'm your host, Heather Beyer, founder of Van Horn, coming to you from the heart of North Atlanta. Join us as we journey through the intricacies of market trends, design inspirations, and transformation power of color and space. Each episode will feature insights from industry experts, heartfelt stories from our clients, and practical tips to help you navigate the complex world of real estate and design. Whether you're embarking on an adventure of buying a new home, looking to sell, or simply dreaming of a space that better reflects your personal style, Real Design with Van Horn is your guide to making those dreams a reality. So tune in, get inspired, and discover how you can transform any house into a home that truly resonates with you. Welcome to our community of creators, dreamers, and home lovers. Hey everybody, Heather Beyer with Real Design here at Van Horn. We are coming off a spring break week, so last week was nice and calm in the 30024. If you have been on spring break, I hope it was amazing. And we are going to talk a little bit today about listing houses, things that need to be done before you list a house, and if you should choose to stage your house or not. And this is just me today chatting you up, and I'm going to answer a few questions that people had asked before. A lot of people wanted to know, like, my most obscene real estate moment. So I have a funny story or two about that. But going straight into it, we listed two houses last week. One house, they're both in the same community. It's a highly sought after community in the Forsyth, Swanee area. And they're two very different properties. But one needed staging because the seller of this property had already, they already have two other properties. So they had transitioned some of the furniture in their current house to their other homes. And we wanted to kind of fill in the space. And also they had some areas on the terrace level that were just vacant. And I think whenever you have a room that doesn't just outright look like this is what the purpose is, it's very, very hard for buyers to picture that. So in this instance, we went in, we staged the living room, we staged the keeping room, we staged the terrace level, and we did some filling in of the bedrooms and the bathrooms and just made the space look very neutral, very filled in, and it was easy for buyers to know exactly what each one of the spaces were for. Now, why do we think that makes a difference? And why wouldn't you just go ahead and clear out all the furniture and sell the house, put it on the market with no furniture? Well, buyers have a really, really hard time looking at a house that has no furniture in it and seeing themselves being there and seeing how the furniture is going to be laid out and seeing how they're going to utilize that space. That being said, in this market, I know it's really hot. So people might ask, well, why? Houses, are selling like that. There's not enough inventory still. Why would we bother to stage it? And I can say wholeheartedly because it will help your property sell faster. And I believe it will help your property sell for a higher price. We watched this weekend, I think we had 48 showings in 2 days. I co-listed this with another agent in my office. So we both sat at the house to welcome each appointment, and every person that came through there, they all commented on how well the house was laid out, on how well the furniture placement looked in there. They wanted to know if certain pieces we had in the house were for sale, and we ended up getting multiple offers on this property. 150%. I believe that it was because the house is set up so people can walk in and see how they're going to live in that house. So if you're wondering, if you're questioning, should I or should I not, should I move all my things out? Let me say with a resounding yes, either move it all out and have a completely vacant house, or stage it and make it look like it's a home and it's being lived in. So it's either one or the other. Do not leave rooms half decorated and some rooms with furniture and some rooms without furniture. Just either. I'm a big believer in it's either all or nothing. The second house that we listed in the same community was a very different house, a really, really sweet floor plan, unusual little floor plan, and they had not moved any of their furniture out. So we simply went in, we advised them on how to rearrange some rooms, on things that they needed to remove before we listed the house to make the rooms feel more spacious. So we did what we call just a revamp on those properties, on that particular property. And when I say revamp, meaning we added art. We added some chairs to the dining room. They had all wood chairs, so we added some Parson linen chairs in there to kind of break up so much of the wood. We added bedding to the beds to make them nice and neutral. We rearranged the built-ins, so the built-ins were very cohesive, cleaned those up. We added some new rugs because rugs get age on them and they do not present well. And when people go through a house, they don't want it to look, honestly, at a certain price point, any price point, you don't want it to look like it's had a ton of wear and tear on it. So we replaced the rugs. We helped the seller go through the entire house and pointed out in each room, this is what we're going to move, this is what we're going to change, and this is what we're going to add to make your property present well online, which is most important because everybody's going to look at the pictures of your house before they ever see it in person. So these are the things that we're going to add. These are the things that we're going to take away to make your house present and hopefully bring you the highest dollar possible. That house went on the market. It listed last night, actually. And so today's the first day of showings. My other agent is on site today all day long with that house. And we already have, I think we have 12 showings on that house today. So the market's there. The want is there. People want to buy houses right now. I think interest rates may be holding some people back. But again, I'm going to continue to say, marry the house, date the interest rate. Marry the house, date the interest rate. Because at the end of the day, you can refinance that interest rate and get it down some. But don't let that hold you back from getting the house that you want. Wholeheartedly, we believe in that. So point of that story is there's two ways to think about how an agent that has a staging service and a design service can help you. Either we can bring in the whole thing. We had, a moving company move it in. We moved in. We probably put 4 sofas in the first house, full dining rooms, and it took a whole day of moving in. We think that it was worth every cent. We think it was worth all the effort because we will get a higher than ask offer for that particular property. And then the second house, she hadn't had as many things to move out. They had lived in this house for many, many years, but it's hard. Moving is hard. Packing up an entire lifetime of a house is hard. Going through all of your kids' old things and getting everybody to take them away is hard. So when you have an agent that comes in or a team that comes in and says, hey, let us help you with this. It was great because we could help her take some of the stress off of her. Basically, we said, just go out, go run your errands, go let us do all the things. And when she came back, it took us a full day, actually probably a day and a half, but we transformed that house and it is nice and neutral. It is uncluttered. It looks updated. And we used all of the things in her house that she already had. We just simply told her how to replace some things, what to remove, and what would present the best. And I can guarantee you that we will have multiple offers on that house today as well. So if you are thinking about listing and you're wondering, should I do things to my house? The market's great. We don't need to do that much. I disagree. You should try to present your best possible face for your house. And that does include staging, and that does include adding things and updating things to a more neutral, clean palette. So that being said, congrats to my sellers because we're gonna sell your house and get you an amazing deal and scoot you off to your next property. The second seller that I was talking about, I'm more than excited because this process that we offer, there are phases. We have the growing family phase where you're selling and you're moving up and you're adding, 1,500 square feet or 2,000 square feet to your next house. And you're going to need to fill that house, that extra square footage with furniture. We have the downsizing where this particular family is. Their kids are out of college now. They're selling the big house that they've had, that they've raised their children in, and all that furniture that they've had raising their children. And this is their next phase. And their next phase is going to be, a cute townhome or a cute condo or a lake house, or, they're going to Florida. And so all of that old furniture, we're gonna get rid of that, and we're gonna start in the next phase. And we're very excited because with our process, we did help them get this house staged. But now, this new house, they will be able to design with us. They will use our design services, which we have our complimentary 5 hours of design services, and we will help them decorate their new property. And it's going to be nothing like all the things that they had for 100 years when they had kids, just like all of us. There's a season for everything, and the season where you no longer have to worry about a million stains on your couch and on your furniture is pretty exciting, because I think all the ladies and maybe some of the dads have been waiting to get rid of all those old things and get the new things. So with us, we've already started working on all the new things for their next place, and that goes for the lighting in their next space, of course, the sofas, the outdoor furniture, the bedrooms, everything. Because that's when we see people, especially people that are selling these larger properties and downsizing because they no longer need such a large footprint of a home. They usually just get a lot of new things. They're excited about it. So that's where, again, we step in and we're saving you stress and all of the, the haggle of getting the house ready to list on the front end. And then on the back end, once we identify their new property, we're saving you on the furnishing. And that's amazing. And we're also taking out all of the second guessing, which is always uncomfortable. And what I really love is the fact that we do have a certified, actually two certified color specialists, because anybody who's ever picked out paint, I don't feel like I'm exaggerating when I say paint is terrifying, because if you think you have the perfect white or the perfect cream or the perfect taupe, you fall in love with it, you've planned the entire room around it, and you put it up and all of a sudden it pulls lavender. All of a sudden it pulls pink. All of a sudden it pulls blue. And you have paid a lot of money to have your entire home painted. And heaven forbid you're deciding to do changes to the outside. It's truly a terrible feeling if you think, oh my gosh, I've just paid X amount of dollars to have all these shutters painted this color, and I thought alabaster was going to look white, and oh my God, it's pulling pink, because some alabaster pulls pink sometimes. So with our services, we try to take the scariness out of paint, and that's where our paint specialists come in. They will advise you on what colors will work best in your new property, whether you want to use that service for the inside or whether you want to change the outside colors of your, the trim and the shutters and the front door, whatever that may be. I think that it is a huge benefit to work with a certified color specialist, just because paint, again, is scary and paint is expensive. If there's one thing I say, put your money on and don't mess it up, it's the paint, because it can make or break a room. So we're super excited, and they're excited to utilize all of those new things as well. It's funny, whenever we are out having dinner with friends or girls' night or whatever, everybody starts talking about their work, and everybody's always like, Heather, what's the most crazy, strange, odd real estate moment that you've ever had? And I always go to this one story, and I was showing a client homes, and we, had an appointment scheduled for a house. And you see the most amazing things in real estate, honestly. And some of them are amazing, some of them are crazy. So I knocked on the door because I didn't see a car, but no, I didn't knock on the door. We went in, and I always, whenever I go in, I'm always like, hey, Heather Beyer, Century 21. I always announce myself, and nobody said anything. So we went on in. I had both the husband and the wife with me. We're looking at the house, and all of a sudden this lady comes walking out of a bedroom in a towel, freshly out of the shower, like so fresh out of the shower, she's puddling on the floor, and just had no problem whatsoever standing there in just a towel. And we were both just petrified, all of us, and we were like, oh my gosh, we're so sorry. She was not bothered by it one bit. She started to tell us all about the house. She wanted to give us a tour, and I was like, "Oh no, please, just we're fine. We'll just go on downstairs. You just get ready." So she went back in the bathroom. We went downstairs. In the downstairs area, there was an entire room set up like a gigantic closet, and it had like 17 mannequins in it. All the mannequins had on very unusual outfits and wigs. It was a little Silence of the Lambs kind of feeling. It was the most random thing ever. So we continued to look, though. I'm like, you know what? Maybe she's a costume person. Maybe she works with the theater. We gave them the benefit of the doubt. So we go back upstairs. thinking surely she would have clothes on by this point. And she had put on a bit of clothing when we went back upstairs. So we walked through the primary bedroom area, and clothes everywhere, undergarments everywhere, and still she was barely clothed. So I think that was one of my oddest real estate moments, because I cannot imagine not having clothes on in front of three strangers. It terrified me. And that, combined with the really weird mannequins all in the basement, was enough to freak us out. And we never went back to that house. So that's one of my favorite real estate stories. And there's a million more after that. But yeah, that was one of my favorite ones. When we listed these houses this weekend, we were on site, which I think in a popular market is very, very helpful, because we did get to meet each potential client, and we did get to meet their agents. What I noticed for sure is that none of these agents were super familiar with the community that they were selling in, which is to be expected. I totally get that. But when people are looking, especially from out of town, because we do have a ton of people transferring here, this is a very popular area. Our city, our area is growing by leaps and bounds every year. But people want to know about the schools. People want to know about what makes our school special, and about the community, about the, do you have swim team? What's your tennis league like? If it's a gated community, how many entrances do you have? Is there a rec center around here? How long does it take to get to the airport from here? If it's a golf community, is it private golf? Is it public golf? What are the dues? So there were so many questions that people had. And I don't blame the agents whatsoever, because it is a ton of information. But if you're thinking about listing with somebody, I think an important question for every client to ask is, how familiar are you with this community? And especially for people who are have kids in schools, because in our cluster, there are, several schools, and all of those schools are different. They all have, amazing things that make them different. We had some clients this weekend whose children want to be in band. Well, one school has a band program, the other one doesn't have a band program. And these are things that you might not know when you're just going online and looking up school ratings, like at School Digger. It'll give you the ratings of each school. And so when you're interviewing a listing agent, or when you're deciding to work with a buying agent, see if they're familiar with the communities that you're most interested in, because it will benefit you greatly, because they will have a really amazing depth and a knowledge base that other people might not have about the communities that you want to be in. Like people had, when they looked at this one house, they were like, oh, it doesn't have a really big backyard. Well, because we live in the community, we're like, listen, guys, I don't know if you're familiar with this community or not, but actually, this 0.86 lot is a gigantic size lot for this particular community. So if you're looking for something different, if you're looking for a larger lot size, then these are communities that might benefit you more. But setting expectations with your buyer for what a community may or may not offer is very important. And somebody that lives in your community and is wickedly familiar with it is going to have that depth of knowledge. And so once we went through and kind of showed people like, hey, these are the last 20 sales in here, and this is what the backyards look like. This is, again, and they realized then, okay, this is actually a really, really great yard, and we want to be in this community. I feel like if we hadn't been on site there talking to those people, they would not have known that what they were looking at was actually one of the best possible backyards that they could get in that community. And again, it goes into with if it's golf club, if it's schools, if it's bus routes, if it's just anything local. Use an agent that knows as much about your community as possible, because in the end of the day, I do believe that it will benefit you. So we did finish our project in St. Simons, and I want to reiterate that Van Horn, I've been a real estate agent for 11 years. I've been in the area here for 25 years. And although Van Horn was specifically created to benefit our real estate clients, we also do design projects for clients who don't use us for their real estate needs. So we just finished a beautiful install in St. Simons Island, And this client did not use us to purchase her home, but did hear about us after she purchased it. And we were, thrilled and lucky enough for her to choose us to work with. So we will have pictures of that soon. But point being, we do work in Florida. So if you or someone you know are thinking about purchasing in Florida, we can help you with those purchases in real estate and then help you with the design. We have shipped furniture to almost every state in the United States of America. So shipping furniture is nothing new to us. With larger installs, we do have designated movers that we use. So we do lake houses, we do beach houses, we do mountain houses, and then, of course, we do all around the Atlanta area. So when you're thinking about real estate, we are certainly not confined to just the Atlanta area. We love Florida. We have a new build in Florida. We can't wait to document that and show you all how much the progress, and that has been from ground up. So we've been able to help them with the hard surfaces and the paints and the tiles and the stains and the shiplap and all the lighting, all the fixtures. So that's exciting, and that's going to be completed in June, I think. But keep that in mind that whenever you're looking to buy or sell, we service Florida, we service St. Simons, we service all of Atlanta. So we are not certainly confined to the 3004 zip code. We love to travel. Oh, and as a matter of fact, we have an install coming up in Las Vegas. So there we go. Thank you so much for listening today. If you like what you hear and you're interested in what we have to say, like, subscribe, tell your friends about us, follow us on Instagram. We are a female-owned and operated business. We are local. We're really proud of our services. And thank you so much for tuning in.